Holy sacrifices, my shit. Morning, kings and queens. What's up? What's up? What's up? Peace, kings. Peace, peace. How y'all doing today? On this beautiful Tuesday. Good morning, sisters and brothers, kings and queens. Grand Rising. What up, what up? Stason. Jim, what up, baby? You already know. That shit was fire, man. That nigga Cole went crazy on that thing there. Whoo! BX, baby. There's only a few of us left. You know how we do it. You know how we do. Up early in the morning, rise and grind. I mean, I just try to do what I could do. That's all. And fight to massive violence awareness walk next month. I'ma check it. If I'm here, I'm there. Why not? Definitely got to stand for that. Boom, boom. Well, I appreciate you, man. I feel like I'm the best rapper. You know. So listen. But I wanted to talk about some shit real quick, right? Revolt Summit was dope. Revolt Summit was so dope. Shout out to Puff. Shout out to everybody that was there. Mona Sky had a dope panel. Puff had a dope panel. 2 Chainz, QC did a dope panel that I witnessed. Joe Buttons, Angela Yee had a dope panel. Remy. It was a bunch of dope shit. But the highlight, if you did not see this one panel, the Trap the Vote panel, which was like the highlight panel for me. Shout out to everybody on that panel. T.I., Killer Mike, Candace Owens, Tamika Mallory. Panel was dope. Moderated by my boy Jeff Johnson. And it was dope. It was so dope that I wanted to be on the stage, you know. And I think that's why I'm having this conversation, because there was so much wealth of knowledge, jewels dropped, you know, at that panel, man. And it was so much shit about how we need to create our own agenda as black people, man. And fuck the parties and all of that. Create our own agenda as black people and make sure that whoever we vote into, that we sit down with all these people who are running for office and say, hey, this is what we need. And are you willing to give this to us? You know, and I think that's some shit that we really need to do. You know, I think that right there was like the biggest takeaway for me. Just looking at if we galvanize the power, just the power that was on that stage alone could change, you know, the trajectory of how this country is ran. If they all galvanized their power and unified and came together with things that we agree on, that we all know, because I think everyone on that stage wants the same thing. They want blacks, excuse me, they want black people to receive what we deserve. They want black people. Some of them think it's a different way to go. Some of them think the problem is different. But everybody there wants to see black people reach the potential and get back what we lost, you know, and get to our natural place in society, in America. You know, there was a couple of things though that I just wanted to compliment on. There was a statement made, and it was that there was a point that America was great, and that statement really kind of threw me through a loop. You know, and the statement was made that, you know, America was great at the time after the Civil War. 7 years after the Civil War, that blacks were in control of all the skilled laborers. They were pretty much the focus of all the skilled laborers, and that they had millions of acres of land. They had acquired all these things, and that for me was a misstatement. Let's be 100% clear. I want us to be 100% clear. America has never been great for black people. Let me say this again. America has never been great for black people. There's no point throughout history where black people received equality in economics, in justice, in just human life. There's never been a point in American history when where black Americans were treated equally in this country. There has never at one point. We represent 15% of the population and probably represented more percent of the population back then. And we've never had 15% of anything in this country. We've never had 15% of the jobs. We've never had 15% of economics, real estate. We've never had our percentage of anything in America. And I think it's dangerous to put out that narrative, because what happens is it feeds into Trump and his white supremacist theory, because they will use our words, because we are thought provokers. We are credible messengers in our community. So when we make these statements, we have to be very aware that the enemy will utilize that statement that you make to say, look, my African Americans even say that there was a time where America was great. When we let the blacks perform all the manual labor, we allowed the blacks to perform all the manual labor. So America was great at some point. No, there was never a point. At that point, they had the black codes in which they only allowed blacks to do labor. They would not allow you to take office. They would not allow you to do things that utilize your mind. Every black is not someone who does manual labor. We are thinkers. We are educators. We are able to lead. We are able to hold office. So to say that period symbolized greatness for black America is a falsehood. There's no period you can think before slavery in America, during slavery or after slavery has. And right now, Candace Owens was 100% correct. Blacks are losing in every statistical category. We are decreasing. They say by the year 2082, that the median wealth for black people will be zero. I think this is important to tell you so that we are not believing that we're doing something we're not. See, I don't want us to believe something. I don't want us to either feed into the white supremacist narrative that there was a time that they treated black people properly inside America, or feed into the narrative that we're doing good. What's happening is we are in close proximity to the people who have acquired wealth in our community. You know why? Because we get 1 or 2 basketball players that come from our community, 1 or 2 rappers who come around, and you see them and you say they've acquired wealth. So I'm actually able to visualize somebody who has wealth. But the reality is, since slavery was ended, after the Civil War, after Emancipation Proclamation, we have never had over 2% of the wealth in this country. Listen to me. We've made up 15%, sometimes even 20%. It fluctuates between that. We have never accounted for more than 2% of the wealth in America. This is a fact. This is not something I'm telling you. This is not something I'm making up. This is not some shit I'm telling you. America was never great for black people. Our goal is still to make it great for black people. See, I think if you think there was a time that it already happened, or you think we're doing better than we actually doing, then you feel complacent. We become complacent with a false reality. I do not want us to fall complacent. We are not doing better. We are actually doing worse. Do your research. If you don't believe me, do your research. If you think that I'm just talking, do your research. And that's why I need y'all to tag Diddy in this, right? That Diddy put together a great panel. But that panel was of well-to-do, intellectual blacks who have a voice, who are also credible messengers. But the reality is, the people on that stage have been either never experienced poverty or are far removed from poverty. You have to have someone who is in these communities that we talk about, who is credible within these communities, who is boots on the ground in these communities to speak about these issues. You have to. This has to be very prevalent. You understand what I'm saying? Because the average person on that stage's economic reality is not the economic reality of the people that they're talking about. So when you say Black America was great for people, it might have been great for some of the people on that stage, but it has never been great for the people that I know. Robbie and Keisha don't see where these jobs are coming. They don't see the greatness that you're talking about. So I need us to be very intentional. We cannot feed into the white supremacist narrative. When we start talking about people should be doing these things and talking about pretty much the theme is you pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. Dr. King said it is good to say pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. But it's a sad joke when you say that to a person who has no boots. You know, some of us don't have no boots. You know, I might have a pair of boots, but I still ain't got no straps on my boots. So there got to be people, if not me, on these when we having these because these conversations are real. But I need someone who's going to push back. Shout out to Jeff Johnson. Shout out to Killer Mike. Shout out to T.I. Tamika. But I need someone who has a voice that's able to push back and talk from a reality that probably a lot of them don't come from. A male perspective in that reality. That's what I want us to do. Like, we can't have a conversation about people that are not there. Lorenz Tate said the realest shit. Lorenz Tate talked about how the dynamics of America was never built for us to prosper here. We came here as laborers. We came here as slaves. We came here as somebody who they were supposed to build up a nation for them. After a while, we acclimated into this society. We acclimated. We are best equipped to adapt. That's why they chose black people as slaves. If you do the homework, your melanin made you. They tried to enslave other people. The Europeans had tried to enslave, but other people were dying because their genetic makeup did not make them either able to work in the cold or in the heat. So they would die at a higher rate. So they weren't able to enslave them for too long. So when they found the black man, they realized that the black man's body, his genetic makeup, made him equipped to deal with anything. He was equipped to deal with anything. The rain, the cold, the heat. That your melanin was power. And they utilized that melanin to build America. America was never supposed to embrace you. So what happens is this. When we start to say that we love America, and I'm a proud American, it's very dangerous for me. And you can be. And there's a lot of people that say that, and I get it. But this is where Stockholm disease comes in. Just think of this. I want you to just understand this ideology. I need us to understand this ideology. If you were kidnapped from your mother as a baby, they raped, killed your family, and brought you here to a house, a big house, right? And you live in this house, and you grow up thinking this is your family. And they grow up, they teach you. They don't teach you as good as they teach everybody else, but they give you opportunity. And based on the fact that you're here, you able to acquire, and you're smart, and you and you have the wherewithal to be great. You find a way to amass a level of wealth and success. And then you think this is your family. Now, the minute you find out that this family that you are here raped and killed your parents, some people can still love them people. Some people will say, well, these are only parents I've known, so I love them. I'm not one of those people. At that point, I realized that you took me away from my life. You killed off my society. You killed off my culture. You killed off my fucking family tree. You killed the people who gave birth to me. And though I'm in a place where I may have more opportunities than you think I had before, you destroyed my family. America was never our family. They brought us here. We were brought here in bondage.
We are the only people who came here involuntarily. This is a fact. Do your research. We came here involuntarily. So when we say that we are proud Americans, listen to me. I'm an American. I don't know about the proud. My goal here is to establish my culture and establish what it is that I lost and live for my ancestors, to recreate what they took from us here. I don't believe that America has given me opportunities outside of. If you go to Africa, they have so many opportunities there. There are opportunities everywhere. We have been fed this falsehood and this narrative, so I'm not mad at anybody for their beliefs. But for me, I'm an American. Proud, I don't know how much, because America has yet to do something that made me proud. First, you enslaved and killed my ancestors and you brought me here against my will. And then you tell me I should be happy to be here. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that ideology, and I challenge people who do. So once again, America has never been great for black people. It was never meant to be great for black people. Let's not feed that narrative. Let's not give Trump and his supporters something to be able to say, look at my African American, like they use Kanye. Look, he has the Make America Great Again hat on. They utilize us against us. They utilize us. So don't feed that narrative. We have never got a fair shake of the pie here. So there were times throughout history when we were definitely doing better than we are now. But there was never a time where America was great for black people. Never. Ever. That is a falsehood. It is a falsehood, and I will debate anybody on that with facts. I will debate it with facts. So tell Diddy, the next Revolt Summit, I need to be on that panel. And if not me, then have somebody that's able to speak from marginalized communities that's still in the streets, literally in the streets, not taking my brothers and sisters. They definitely come from the streets. They come from where they came, but they've amassed a level of wealth that I haven't amassed yet. I'm still in the trenches. I'm still on the blocks. I'm still in the parks. I'm still buying quarter waters from the block. You know what I'm saying? So make sure that we have those type of people represented. Make sure that those people are represented at the table when we have this conversation. That was the only thing missing from this conversation, was people from marginalized communities who are still marginalized, who still identify and understand that America has never been great, who still don't see the promise of America. See, when you've amassed a certain level of wealth, then you're able to speak from a different perspective. But there's still 90+% of us in the trenches, still trying to get out the dirt. So let's have a real conversation. Have those people that you speak about at the table. You can't have nothing about me without me.